Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about some new C8 Z06 pricing details and how the Z06 may affect the used C8 Stingray market. Hello everyone and welcome back to Brink of Speed. Today I'm excited to bring you some new Corvette C8 Z06 pricing details. But real quick before we do that, help me out by smashing that thumbs up button. As you know, that helps break the YouTube algorithms and it lets YouTube know that you're really enjoying this content. And by the way, my thumbs up squad has been amazing. Thank you so much for all of your hard work, ladies and gentlemen. Also, if you don't want to miss a single one of these videos, make sure to smash that red subscribe button and the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. All right, let's get into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so as you can see, I am on my friend Keith's website, CorvetteBlogger.com, one of the best, if not best, Corvette websites there are. If you want all the latest and greatest Corvette information, make sure you visit CorvetteBlogger.com. Now, this is going to be a little bit different type of video that I've ever done before. I'm actually going to use some old footage from 2019. It's almost 2 years old that I'm going to show you here in a little bit, but before we get to that footage, first of all, let's click on this one right here. It says starting base price of the 2023 C8 Z06 Corvette, said to be confirmed by 2 dealers. Now, I'm sure most of you have heard of Horsepower Obsessed. Justin over there at Horsepower Obsessed has a couple of inside tracks with a couple of dealerships, and apparently they have told him some information about the new Z06 pricing. But the reason why I want to show you guys some old footage from December of 2019 is because I really still believe, even though right here this says that his dealerships say 87,000, I still don't know that that is going to be what it really starts at. I cannot see this Z06 starting for any less than 90, although at the reveal there were rumors that it may be high 80s. I've done another video. I'll put the link in the description below and also put an iCard up there at the top right so you can click on that when this video is over. But I want to show you some footage that I did in 2019 where I did a presentation showing from the C5 all the way to the C7 and the difference between the base model and the Z06, and coming up with analysis of why I believe this car is going to start at around $91,000 to $93,000, and it could be even higher than that, but I really think GM is going to do what they normally do and keep it as low as possible. However, we do have to include time, inflation, and just the way things are going nowadays. Of course, we all know that there are a lot of issues with supply chains. There are a lot of issues keeping the C8 Corvette base model from being built constantly. So anyway, I said all that to say, watch this, and then when we're done watching this, I want to come back and talk about 2 things. Number 1, if that's correct, and number 2, how this is going to affect the C8 Stingray used market, because a lot of people are wanting to know if the Z06, when it comes out, is going to help the C8 Stingray pricing to go down. First, let's look back at the C5 Z06 starting price. It started at $52,185, while the base model started at $43,835. That is an $11K difference there. Now let's look at the C6 models. The base model started at around $43,680, while the Z06 was $64,890. This is a huge jump of over $20,000. How about the C7? The base model started at $53,000 while the Z06 started at $83,000. This is the biggest delta out of all of them, over $30K difference. Obviously, this has to do with time, inflation, and technology. As you can see, with every generation, the price gap between the base model Corvette and the Z06 grows. So, with all of this said, even if the C8 only increases by 2K next year, and we only add 30K to that number, we are still looking at a $91,995 starting price for the C8 Z06. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so as you saw there, those were my predictions 2 years ago. Now, I think I can say with all confidence that those are pretty decent predictions. However, I know that back then we thought the Z06 was going to be a 2021 or 2022, and now it's going to be a 2023. So the base C8 pricing was off by $1,000, which, as you see here, it says $61,995. We know it's $62,995. And so that base Z06 starting price would be an extra $1,000, which is actually pretty interesting because I've been saying for 2 full years that it was going to be anywhere from $91,000 to $93,000. And that's exactly what it would be today if it were 30K over the base C8 Stingray price. So again, I think my analysis back 2 years ago is still going to become, if not exactly true, it's going to be very close to true. Now, do I think that it could possibly be in the 80s like Justin's video says, 87,000? It could. GM could surprise the heck out of all of us. And I would not put it past GM for doing something like that. As you know, they surprised the heck out of, I would say, probably 70 to 80% of the population when they said the new C8 Corvette was going to start at $59,995. So yes, they could surprise us big time and they could come under 87,000. But the likelihood of that happening is very slim in my opinion. They have to make money on this. They have to justify why this car that could be sold for $150,000 or more, really, I mean, they could sell it for over $200,000 and still probably easily sell out. And so I don't know what they're going to come up with as to why they would go under 90,000, but hey, if they do, all the better for all of us. That's excellent news. So with all of that information in your minds, fresh and current, leave me comments down below what you think about this analysis and if you think 87,000 is realistic or not, and let me know. But let's move on to my second point. A lot of you have been asking me this question and I wanted to make a video about it. So let's discuss whether the C8 Z06 is going to affect the C8 Stingray market. And I'll give you a few points as to why I think it is going to affect it, but I don't think it's going to affect it the way that you all are wanting it to be affected. The reason why I think the C8 Z06 is going to affect the Stingray market in a actual negative way is because it's so rare. We all know that when the C8 base model came out, everyone thought the C7 Stingray was going to lose value. So guess what? A bunch of people sold their C7s a little bit before the C8 came out, and they continued to sell their C7s as the C8 was brought out. Now, what we all know about selling off a product is that it actually reduces the price. It's just like any other thing, stocks, crypto. Whenever there's X amount of product and you sell it big time, it reduces the price. Whenever people are buying it big time, it increases the price. So the panic selling of the C7 lowered the price of the C7. It wasn't the price of the C8 or anything like that that made the C7 go down in value. As all of you saw though, as soon as everyone figured out that the C8 was almost impossible to get, all of a sudden the C7 market came back up, because guess what? Everybody that thought they were going to be able to easily get a C8, well, I'm not waiting on getting a vet for over a year, so I'm going to go ahead and settle for a C7. Not that settling is the correct terminology, but that's basically what they had to do. They had to go ahead and say, you know what? I'm not waiting on this. I'm going to get a C7, and people started buying C7s like crazy. And that's why the C7 market has come up like crazy. As soon as the C7 market came up, there were very few C7s. So that affected the C6s and the C5s. It really hasn't affected the C4s, but C5 and C6 pricing came up as well. I said all that to say, if the same thing happens with the Z06, which we already know it has happened, you're not going to be able to get a Z06. They're going to be few and far between because they're making a fraction of them compared to the C8, and we already know how hard it was to get the C8 base model. The same thing's going to happen with the C8. People are going to realize, you know what, I've been waiting for a C8 Z06, not buying the C8 on purpose. Now I can't get a C8 Z06, so I might as well go ahead and settle for the C8 base model. People are going to start buying those things like crazy in the used market. They're not going to care what they're priced at, they're going to buy them. Because they're going to say, you know what, I was going to pay this price for the C8 Z06 anyway, because it's going to be 3 years before I can get a Z06. So in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I believe that used C8 pricing is going to remain around where it's at now or come up even higher. So all of you C8 Stingray owners out there, get ready. I think your car is going to be worth more money starting in around July or August of next year. This is just my opinion again, ladies and gentlemen. Leave me comments down below letting me know what you think, and that's really going to do it for this video. Again, give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Leave your comments down below. If you don't want to miss a single one of these Z06 videos, make sure to smash that red subscribe button and the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you guys out on the road.